it at the wrong time. That's just too surreal, Bill. It really is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think people handle stress in different ways.
Right.
That's all you can really say. And most of these are the day before the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but some of this stuff happened during the week because some of these guys aren't practicing. They got too much time on their hands.
Right.
I like me. I like to laugh, and and the thing is, these are all pretty good guys. Although Stanley is in prison. I believe he's due to get out pretty soon. He's done 20 years.
Right.
So you feel sorry for some of these guys. I have to laugh because as we move forward, you sit back and go, okay, who's going to screw up the next 2 weeks?
Right.
Who's going to do something stupid, okay, or say the wrong thing, okay, while these guys are out marketing themselves, and now you have a thing called social media.
I knew we were getting there.
Well, yeah, and what's really funny is there's Jason Whitlock, I believe, is a pretty good writer.
Right.
And I was watching him the other night talking about what's going on with Antonio Brown, and also was it Odell Beckham?
Right.
And he's convinced that these guys are trying to make a brand like a Kim Kardashian type deal, and what they're doing is they're posting things on social media or trying to call attention to themselves.
Right.
Like, for example, Odell Beckham going down and handing out, flashing cash. Okay, and some of it's real. That's against the law.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, they know in the symposium that you can't do that.
Right.
So they're deliberately breaking the law to a degree, or let's put it this way, doing things they know that are wrong, that their gut knows that are wrong, but they're deliberately doing it so they can go viral in order to sell product.
I know.
Okay?
Unreal.
And, I will tell you, can you imagine being a security guard down in LSU? You have a job to do, and you're sitting here telling you, look, no smoking in the locker room.
Right.
So guys are lighting up cigars, and the guy's sitting there, he's wondering whether he's going to get fired from his job. So people that have respect for other people will listen to what the guy's saying. So some guards will say, well, the guards ain't bothered, so I'll smoke a cigar. But if the guard's telling you don't do this, they're lighting up anyway, and their response is to smack a police officer or a security guard, okay, on the ass.
Right.
What if the roles were reversed? This is what I always tell. I used to tell people: look, put yourself in the other person's position before you rush to judgment, and you will clearly see that you would probably do the same thing, okay, that they would do. In fact, it's been proven that if you do role reversal, because people from study groups who are trying to do the right thing are trying to learn how to have relationships with police officers and security guards that are actually not sitting here doing stuff on social media, but are in there talking in focus groups and interviewing these guys and taking simulated tests to see what these guys going through, aren't even getting as good as scores as the people they're chastising. So you sit back and you go, the lack of respect that they did down there. And I like Beckham, but he's burying himself. I'm sure the New York Giants are happy that they got rid of him. Why? Because the guy is a major distraction. What he did is he went down there and put a focus on himself. Okay, and Jason Whitlock, who I believe is a very respected journalist, isn't going to say something like this if he doesn't have proof. And these guys are actually posting these videos by themselves, just like Antonio Brown did in Miami. And I think Antonio Brown, quite frankly, I actually talked to the NFLPA today, and I told them I would have a representative down there right now to prevent anything from happening to save this guy's career, because he is literally burying himself, because he's the one that posted the video, okay, of him F-bombing the police with his baby mama outside, and the police officers had no choice but to come out to the house for domestic violence. He literally has no respect whatsoever for the NFL, just by the way he was saying it. He's screaming out a lot of racial epithets. are unfounded, while everyone else is acting normal. And Jason Whitlock believes that this guy needs professional help, and he also needs counseling, and he may be addicted to substance abuse. As a former player, seeing what some of my teammates are going through, and his agent just got rid of him, Drew Rosenhaus. AB, you got to surround yourself with people who love you, that are going to allow you not to be your own worst enemy, so that you can have a shot to see us watch you play ball, okay, and because you have a tremendous talent. But if you're going to be stuck on stupid on some of these things regarding social media, all you're doing is ruining your career and digging yourself into a hole you're never going to get out. And, some of it, I think it's kind of funny, but at the same time, there's a time and a place for guys to be doing this social media. So, I'm kind of sitting back and I'm going, okay, Beckham, I love you. I love you as a player. If I was a teammate of yours, I'd probably love you. But you're crossing the line by going down and calling attention to yourself in the LASU locker room, flashing cash, which I'm sure they talked about in a symposium. But to turn around and smack a guy in the ass, okay, now they got to arrest you for assault and battery. And I was shocked at some of the response by some of the people out there who honestly think that the people who work there are responsible for this happening. And this is where we're at right now. We're inside out because people are just flat stuck on stupid.
Okay.
I don't know how to put it any other way.
Let's stay on point, Bill, okay? And I want to make sure we stay on point, and I understand some of those things that are going on. Okay, we're talking about a 1 or 2 week layoff, which is detrimental, okay, to a team, whether they're a little sharper. I realize in some cases they have 1 week of practice time and a lot of the Super Bowl commitments. Do you know what I mean? And as a result, when you deal with that kind of thing, how much of a real distraction is it? Because I've seen games that are a lot more competitive 1 week, or sometimes they're more competitive when you have the opportunity to go ahead and heal. That, I guess I want to make sure we stay on point there, Bill.
Sure. Well, my point, Scott, real quick was, even though we talked about these two other guys and two other incidences, I'm just waiting for this first week and the second week to see. I'll make you a bet right now that somebody does something stupid during the week.
Oh, yeah.
That is uncalled for, that calls attention to themselves, okay, and hamming it up, because what kids are doing now is they're trying to build their brand.
Right. That's
they're all about the money. So, what you really got to do is it's an intelligence test. You got to focus on your craft. You got to take care of your body. The first week, you want to deal with the family stuff, get the tickets out of the way. The second week, it's all business, no distractions,
right.
And you get focused and you get ready to play. Okay, and you got the media throwing all these hooks at you. You have a lot of people taking shots at you because open targets. So the smartest thing to do is to stay off the street. Okay, you just stay in the hotel. Okay, and just do your job and get out of there. But the young guys who've never been through this before are going to, start to act like they're freshmen in college, and they're having a tough time making the adjustment at the next level, because it's like going to the top of the mountain. And a lot of people are going to slip and fall trying to take that last step onto the mountain. Top of the mountain.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Bill. I think what even makes it tough nowadays is the fact that social media definitely compounds it. But you're talking about instances which happened long before social media, which is even crazy. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it even scarier than it was before. You follow me?
Yep.
So now, I guess, as far as I'm concerned, when we understand the logistics of how it is, if you were preparing for the Super Bowl, would you rather have 1 week off or 2? I mean, you go from 1 week where you're fresh off of a win into the game, or 2 weeks. Which is more beneficial?
Well, I think, me. You give me the answer of what you think I would say.
No, you tell me. You're a player.
Take a guess. I want to tell you the answer, but I want you to guess.
Well, my gut feeling is you'd rather be okay. My gut feeling is you'd rather go ahead and play the week afterwards and get it over with.
For sure.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Because you're in rhythm. And I don't want to be bothered with all this. I call it nonsense. Okay, I really do. All this hype, all these interviews. It's a pain, to me, it's a pain in the behind.
Right.
All right, it's nothing more than for people to generate revenue. This is the ultimate entertainment. And you have to sit there, okay, and answer all these questions. And some of it is just repetitive, and it's just a pain in the behind. Okay,
Right.
now some guys that are unfocused and it's all about them. A lot of times they're going to see it as an opportunity to make money. Who was the running back the running back that played for the Seattle Seahawks? Who sat there and literally was making political statements the whole time? The running back they just activated for the playoffs
Marshawn
because somebody
Lynch.
got hurt. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch. It was
Right.
a classic. He kept saying the classic line, the classic line. Indirectly, he was basically saying, look, man, I'm not going to say anything and let you guys twist it or do anything else. I'm doing my job. And it was hilarious, and he was smart enough to play the game within the game. I thought that was brilliant. I really did. But he was kind of speaking for the players at the same time and making a point. Okay, that, look, this stuff is pointless. Let's get the game going. But if I have to do this, I'm just going to have a canned response, but I'm going to build my brand while I'm doing it.
Right.
So he killed two birds with one stone. But for the other 95% of the guys on your roster that aren't Marshawn Lynch, they just want to, get in and get out. Okay, get home because it's a long season.
Right.
Okay, and I told you before, guys don't want to really play on Thursday nights. They
Right.
don't want to play an extra game. It is a long season. Guys are beat to crap. Okay, and you just sit back and go, look, I want to stay focused. I want the teams, gelling on all cylinders. This is why I think that I kind of like the 49ers in this game because I think they got the smarter team.
Right.
A ground game will really, really make up for a lot of, deficiencies, like it possibly whether Garoppolo can, take them if they're behind by 2 touchdowns with his arm and if they have to get away from running the football.
Right.
But if you've ever watched Kansas City play, they make a lot of mistakes in the fourth quarter. Offsides, false starts, and this kind of stuff. But I kind of look at this as an intelligence test. And I'm looking at these guys, neither one of these teams have been to the Super Bowl. Okay? They've got maybe 1 or 2 guys on their roster that have played. Like, I think one of the reasons why the 49ers have Richard Sherman is he's been there,
Right.
seen it done, and got the T-shirt, and he's a smart enough guy to keep these guys focused. I don't know if Kansas City has anybody like that.
Right. Well, yeah, there's no
All right, so I'm
question
looking
that.
at a bunch of I'm sorry.
Well,
what's
that's
that?
right. There's no question that Sherman's experience was very, very invaluable, and I think that he could be the X factor in that sense for sure. So I'm with you there.
And I will tell you this as well. I think Richard's smart enough, being a Stanford graduate and having been involved in that he's going to take all the focus and put it on him during the Super Bowl with some intellectual conversation to keep the pressure off of Garoppolo because he realized he's got a young team, and that's one of the reasons why they traded for him.
Right.
Okay? I don't know what Kansas City has. I know Kansas City has they're playing pretty good defense, and their offense is really, really rolling. But I just believe that this game is going to go down to the fourth quarter, and I believe it's going to be the team that makes the fewest mental mistakes and turns the ball over. And usually that's people that are very smart that stay focused, and for that reason, I'm taking the 49ers in the game. Okay, but I also know that, Patrick Mahomes has a bright future, and he'll do his job, but there's probably going to be some penalties in the fourth quarter and some really bad, things that are going to go on because of guys' ability to handle pressure, okay, and also the course of during the week that they're going to get distracted, they're going to get unfocused, and it's going to show up in the fourth quarter because it usually does.
Well, that's true. Very true. I mean, again, you're talking about a situation, and I don't want to be overplay it a little bit, but let's not kid ourselves. I remember a long time ago when they had a strike, and I think the Dolphins were playing the Washington Redskins in the Super Bowl, and they only had a 1 week break between versus 2, and that game was actually competitive, which is one of the reasons why I brought this up. And then we've had other circumstances where it actually played out that way. So I guess my point, the moral of the whole thing is now I understand the media commitments are far higher. They have the media day where Tom, Dick, and Harry's out there asking the dumbest questions on the planet. And they've got to do what they've got to do. And I've covered them